Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's almost as cold as my ex-girlfriend. It kind of makes me think, you know, if a large cruise ship were to crash into whatever's making my room so cold, it'd probably sink. Maybe even break in half while it's sinking. No, we're talking cold. Cold like an iceberg. Before this video begins, I want to let you all know about the comment contest I'm having. It's going to be the replacement for this comment. I want funny comments that aren't extremely racist like last time. 'Cause you guys are racist as hell. Like, you guys need help. You need help. Anyways, it's in the community tab on my channel, so leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see it come up. Whoa, the Lard Guardian different clothes. What the hell happened? I'll tell you what happened. I went down a rabbit hole. I'm recording this in a different day because something really caught my eye. It's specifically the Aquatic Ape Hypothesis. Now, normally on this, I would leave left to right, just starting off. We're just going to jump right into that theory after I name the layer because it's kind of tradition. I have to do that. So honestly, I'm going to name this layer. I'm thinking like a flamboyant finger Frank. Anyway, so jumping into the Aquatic Ape Hypothesis. Now, the first thing that came to my mind when I thought of this was like the monkey under the water swimming. And in searching for that clip, what caused me to be looking the entire night was weird monkey videos. But then I found this. Does that look familiar to you? Let's enhance the image. That monkey, ape, or whatever, it's like Yagami. You know, that monkey just finished hiding his banana note, his death banana. I don't fucking... And I bet he's sitting there thinking,
I've set it up perfectly so that the zookeepers won't be able to keep track of it, and then I'll write their names one by one in my own shit on the wall, and they'll only have 40 seconds left to live. It's all coming together, and Monkey L will be none the wiser.
Anyway, sorry for the tangent there. I just thought that was extremely important information to share with you. So the aquatic ape theory came around in 1960s by a British biologist by the name of Alistair Hardy. So in short, the theory just entails to say that we were partly aquatic at one point, and the features that show that we were aquatic still remain. Things like not having a lot of hair on our body, being able to control our breath manually, as well as our upright posture, are supposedly things that would help aid us in water. It didn't gain a lot of traction, but around 1970 it actually gained a little bit of a following due to a marine biologist by the name of Elaine Morgan, I think. Yeah, okay. So to go into a little bit more detail when it comes to the posture, it was supposedly said that we would live by the shallows of water, and we would go in there to hide from predators or to just like forage for things or to hunt for things. And the reason we stand upright is so that like when the water, it only goes to like our, I don't know, like if it's really shallow water, it only goes to like our knees or to like our waist at most, or even up a little bit more, but still have our arms free to be able to do things. So it comes from that, and also like the hairlessness would help with different like waterborne bugs or like bacteria and stuff like that would latch onto it. And all the fat on our body, specifically the subcutaneous fat. I know, big word, but it just means like the fat above your muscle. Specifically, that fat would provide buoyancy to allow you to float a little bit more, and also to like regulate heat like blubber. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, this theory has been highly controversial throughout history ever since its genesis. It's almost as controversial as my commenters' opinions on black people whenever I do a comment contest, or even as controversial as a certain Austrian man's opinion on Jewish people. So in short, it's safe to say that this theory has just been axed off by any scientific community. Well, most scientific communities. I'm sure there's one or two weirdos out there that believe this. Maybe there's going to be more evidence for it that'll come to light in the future, but I highly doubt it. So honestly, I think this sentence sums it up really well. New age hippie bullshit that was invented to explain away the obvious reality that Homo habilis, I think that's how it's pronounced at least, walked on two legs in order to carry the tools it needed for its carnivorous diet. So leave it to 4chan to give the most interesting response. I guess Occam's razor, right? But moving on to the next thing. So next up we have the Mermaid documentary. Now that we're actually reading the iceberg like a normal person going left to right, 99% sure this is just a reference to the Mermaid documentary that was featured on Animal Planet, that portrayed itself to be like an accurate documentary. In reality, it was just a movie and everything was made up just to garner attention and money. And I believe that is also where the image for this tier of the iceberg comes from. It's a still from the documentary where they CGI'd in everything. So after double checking, I found out that that still is actually from the sequel. Yeah, that's right. The sequel to the documentary I mentioned, which is Mermaids, New Evidence or something like that. The original is Mermaids, The Body Found. This is the cover to the movie. Quite the editing job there, guys. I guess the cover just kind of tells you all you really need to know. Now, like I said, this still is from the sequel to it because, you know, gotta make more money, right? And I should also mention that this documentary kind of ties into the previous talking point, of which was the aquatic ape hypothesis, because in something like in the documentary, it starts talking about that, and then it branches out into how mermaids evolved. I don't know. You'd have to watch the documentary, okay? If you think I'm going to spend money to buy it, okay? No. Maybe if I start making money from YouTube. That's kind of a weird thing to say, because like what, like 3 years down the line, I'm going to be like, all right guys, I'm making money now. You remember that video I made 3 years ago? Yeah, let's watch the documentary I mentioned. So general consensus is this documentary fooled a whole lot of people into thinking mermaids were real. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake the entire desk there. Sorry, I just have the might of a Greek god, and just by laying my hand on the table caused a fucking seismic earthquake. So next up is the sinking of the Titanic, which was kind of annoying to research because you know how vague that is? I swear this is more vague than the YouTube guidelines. I'd even go so far to say that this is more vague than like the girl's signals that she likes a certain guy. That's like me making an ocean anomaly iceberg, making only one tier, and then just putting in simple text ocean. But you see, I'm a pretty smart guy, alright? I make sure to catapult my tanks at my enemy during warfare so they don't know whether to use anti-air or anti-tank ammunition. So I decided to think outside the box, and I can tell you I cracked the magician's code. So what I did is I just asked ChatGPT to tell me every single Titanic conspiracy theory. And these range from like aliens to a fucking Pharaoh's curse. And I'm not joking about that either. That's genuinely something they listed. So I just So if that mummy curse theory is real, then I'm sure Brendan Fraser would like a piece of that. All in all, there's a million conspiracies about the Titanic, okay? I think I'm going to talk about the most plausible one, which is probably the switched ships theory. The switched ships conspiracy, just to keep it short and sweet, entails that the RMS Olympic and the RMS Titanic had swapped places for some reason. There's two main reasons here. Either A, that it was an insurance fraud scam, or B, that it was used to kind of murder three powerful businessmen that were kind of against the creation of the Federal Reserve. Because, you know, what an amazing plan, right? Yeah, let me sink my $7.5 million ship into the ocean to kill three people. But sure, I guess. And the other conspiracy, the fraud one, doesn't make any sense because both the ships cost $7.5 million to build. Because if you want to say the Olympic was the Titanic was only insured for $5 million. So you would be at a loss of sinking your ship. So it doesn't make much sense. So next up we have the Montauk Monster. I don't care if I didn't pronounce that properly, so deal with it. So this is a kind of weird case. It was found in July of 2008, and it's just a carcass that was found in New York. I gotta give you a little bit of a gore warning. Like, it's not like terrible, it's not like there's blood everywhere, but it is like a little gross. So here's a gore warning. I'm gonna show the picture. You can skip to this time to, you know, not see it. Anyway, so yeah, it's as you saw, it's kind of like a carcass that's like a hairless corpse. It's like really sharp teeth, like a beak, like a dinosaur or bird almost, and it's just kind of weird. So of course this is called in some conspiracies, like what could it be, all this stuff. You know, people are speculating maybe it could be, you know, like a genetically made monstrosity hybrid from the animal testing facility near Long Island. I don't know. I mean, it kind of looks like a raccoon to me that's just experiencing a lot of decomposition in their face, possibly. Now, they haven't been able to study this creature because they weren't able to get any proper DNA samples from it, and due to the fact that it was like very far gone in decomposition, it's kind of difficult to identify. My guess is on a raccoon that just doesn't have hair for some reason. I don't know, but I also don't want to like pull up images of decomposed raccoons to compare them. You know, I'm not really about that cross-referencing. No, thank you. So next up we have the St. Augustine Monster, and this is just another thing washed up on the beach. I swear, with this iceberg, there's so many monsters that just wash up on beaches. I haven't had to deal with this many monsters ever since my uncle asked me to massage the sausage in his pocket. Like, first we had the Globster, then we had, you know, what we just talked about, the Montauk Monster, and then we have the St. Augustine Monster. What other monsters do I have to worry about? Besides, of course, the demons in my head. Now, since this is the last one on the list, I'm pretty tired, so I'm going to try and keep it short, but still try and keep the detail in there, at least a little bit. So in Florida, of course it was Florida, in the year 1896, there was an unusual mass of just decomposing flesh found on a beach, and this thing was huge, around like 21 feet. like, that's crazy. That's huge. Oh, you know, of course that's gonna bring attention. You know, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this giant thing? So people were saying it was like a monster from the deep or whatever. So of course they brought in some experts and they just came to the conclusion, yeah, it's probably just a basking shark. And any testing they did just kind of proved that fact more and more. But it does also go to show how difficult decomposing corpses can be. Like with the, for example, a lobster, that's just the carcass of a whale, and it looks shredded and it has hair on it. It looks like it, at least, because it's just so decomposed. You know, this basking shark that people thought was a monster after it was decomposed. And then we have the Montauk Monster. Decomposition is a scary thing, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It can make you look any type of way. So yeah, and that's this tier. You know, I guess we gotta wave goodbye to the flamboyant Finger Fred tier. What a shame. I think I'm probably going to make a supercut of the icebergs. I'll mash them all together in one video so you can just watch it continuously. Here's some videos that you'd like. Remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment on my comment contest if you want to get your comment placed on my wall. And remember, stay hard.